taking a look at the landscape inside this ring, you have Russell and Sigmund on one side. You have Jordan Kage and Caleb Courageous on the other. But the X factor in this matchup very well could be the man on the outside, and that's John Hawkins. Don't know a lot about him, but I know he has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, I've been to a few Innovate events over the years, and every time John Hawkins is ringside, he finds one way or another to get himself involved. He will deny, of course, but we all know, like you said, it's almost like a third man sitting ringside.
So we will see how this one plays out. Will the Heatseekers retain the gold, or will we see our first title change of the night? Will the third time be the charm? Here inside the Benton Convention Center, just getting started here with Wrestlecade weekend on Title Match Wrestling Network all weekend long, Josh.
All weekend long, and this is our third title matchup, and I got to go ahead and tell you, I'm scared I might be hoarse by the end of the night because this is only our third match, and I'm just so excited. It might have to do with the rain that I drank backstage.
As we've got a whole lot of action left to come as this tag team title match just underway. There's the tag into Elliott Russell, 6'2", 216-pound, Morristown, Tennessee native. And there's the quick tag right back into Sigmund, and Josh is the man who essentially passed the torch to you for the AML Wrestling Voice. These two pretty much set the table back in 2015 as the team to beat in America's Most Liked Wrestling, the inaugural tag team champions, and since then have won the titles on multiple occasions.
Yes, sir, having battles with the Geordie Bulldogs, the Dawsons, among others. And these two gentlemen, I gotta plug AML here. They are the reasons that we're able to call our tag team championships World Tag Team Championships, because they've defended those titles in Japan, and they're going back in February for an unprecedented fourth time. Very impressive from these two.
And you have to wonder, will they bring those titles with them then? As the Dawson brothers currently have them around their waist. Big time matchup tomorrow. Woo! As there's the high elevation with the big back body drop on Jordan Kage. Dave and Zane Dawson have prime time tomorrow night, Josh.
Yes,
that's going to be a very stiff test for those AML Wrestling Tag Team Championships. But right now, the Heatseekers trying to cut this ring in half. As there's the tag right back into Sigmund.
All four of these men know each other. They've wrestled at Innovate Wrestling for several years together, with each other, against each other, so they're no strangers, that's for sure. But this more recent teaming of Caleb Courageous and Jordan Kage, you gotta wonder, the experience edge goes to the Heatseekers.
Definitely have the experience with the champions, but sometimes that makeshift team, that unknown, can throw off the game plan a little bit, and you have to wonder, how much can Sigmund and Russell really prepare for these two when there's not a lot of tape on?
Yeah, exactly, there's not, but at the same time, with them being unknowns, they know what the Heatseekers bring. They're able to game plan. They're able to watch tape.
And the big super kick, bridging German suplex combination only gets 2 for the Heatseekers. And right now, Sigmund.
Oh, Blake, did you see that?
I did indeed, as John Hawkins trying to insert himself into the matchup. And you see the difference right there by John Hawkins. We called him a potential difference maker in this one, as a potential picture-perfect drop kick by Jordan Kage sends Sigmund to the outside, and now the challengers look to regain control.
Jordan Kage took advantage of that distraction, that's for sure.
As Caleb Courageous sends Sigmund back in, and Jordan Kage, whether you like him or not, Josh, it does indeed look like he's dropped a couple of pounds, looks to be as lean as he ever has been.
Yes, sir, he's a very, very fitness savvy, constantly in the gym, working on getting better. You mentioned their accolades, the titles they've held, but it's never enough. Always looking for more.
And of course, Jordan Kage in his own right, a former AML Prestige champion. So we know they can get it done in the singles ranks. He came out here with his own United States singles title, but they want to walk out of the Benton Convention Center. This one packed to the brim tonight with those U.S. tag titles for Innovate.
Yes, sir. Jordan Kage is the current reigning.
Here we go, lateral press, only 2.
Current reigning Innovate Wrestling's United States Heavyweight Champion, which is the Big Dog Championship at Innovate. So no slouch when it comes to in-ring competition, but as you say, he wants his gear bag to be a little heavier after tonight.
And just as we talked about the experience of the Heatseekers being a difference right here, you see the cohesion of Caleb Courageous and Jordan Kage, cutting the ring right back in half and putting Matt Sigmund on the defensive. Rarely do we see the Heatseekers at this much of a disadvantage.
Yeah, and it's a smart move on Kage and Courageous. You want the big guy, the big Southern boy, Elliott Russell, on the outside. And
and there's a backstabber. Innovative move right there with a little bit of an assist from Kage. And now Jordan Kage just drops him face first. Modified roll the dice right there.
Somehow Sigmund kicked out. That kid's got heart.
Indeed he does. But you have to imagine that gas tank starting to get a little bit low. That light could come on at any moment now, as Elliott Russell chomping at the bit to get back in this matchup.
A little bit of a nod of acknowledgement here. Yeah, there we go. Pulling a few strings here. Pulling away referee Ben Grayson.
Wait a minute, hold on. There's John Hawkins once again for the second time in this match. Come on now.
Making his presence felt on the outside is John Hawkins. We talked about it earlier, and I almost want to say I told you so.
We saw the potential for interference, and it's rearing its head right here in the middle of this match at its peak. And now, Caleb Courageous, Jordan Kage having their way with Sigmund, but Josh, you talked about his heart. This guy will not quit.
He will not.
Or the standing slice bread, and then look at the double stomp.
Right into the heart.
Indeed, as Jordan Kage, he's all the way upstairs here, that near side buckle, and he drops the elbow from the heavens above.
I don't care how big your heart is, Blake. Enough punishment will keep any man down for 3.
Here we go, lateral press 2, and Russell comes in to break it up, but the mistake there might have been the cockiness of Jordan Kage, does not hook the leg, and that might be the reason we don't have new U.S. Tag Team Champions.
You're absolutely correct, Blake. A lot of times when you go for a pin, you try to put that pressure, because kicking out takes a lot of energy, and the more you hold them down, the more energy they have to expend.
As Sigmund here having a difficult time getting to his feet. He might be a little delirious at the moment. A little off kilter.
Woo!
Hit the drop kick. I don't know if he connected with all of it, but it's enough to get Jordan Kage off of his feet right now.
And you mentioned earlier, Blake, he looks to be a little bit on Dream Street. He doesn't even know where he's at in the ring. His ring awareness is off.
He thinks he's in the Heatseekers corner. He's in the wrong part of town right now. Sigmund needs to make that tag. Shades of Ricky Morton right there making the tag. And here comes Elliott Russell.
Here comes that big Southern boy.
Inverted atomic drop and a big time lariat.
And this is exactly where Caleb Courageous did not want to be, Blake.
As Russell, the Irish whip there to the far side buckle. Here he comes, charging right in. Oh, and he eats the boot of Courageous, creates a bit of separation there, Josh. Off that middle turnbuckle. Russell catches him, and he drives him right down with the choke slam.
Plants him center of the ring.
And that gets a 2.5, but the Heatseekers look to be back on track here in this U.S. Tag Team title defense.
Elliott Russell starting to feel it from this crowd in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I don't blame him. He was looking like a caged tiger over there as they were beating on Matt Sigmund.
Woo! As Russell here, trying to pick up the intensity a bit. Irish whip, near side buckle. He's going to charge in. And Courageous, going to send him to the apron here. But a nice job by Russell to drop down. Drapes him throat first across that top rope. Josh, you know that's cable encased in rubber.
Yes, sir. It has no give. And wait a minute, John Hawkins inserting himself again.
Will the third time be a charge for Hawkins? He can't interfere, but there's the step up in Seguri. And now the challengers have an advantage. Jordan Kage, he's going upstairs.
Oh my God!
There's the Spanish fly from upstairs. And Jordan Kage, there's the frog splash. If he makes the cover, we've got new champs. 1, 2.
No!
Somehow,
some way, Elliott Russell gets the shoulder up.
And now the game plan here of Courageous and Kage is starting to backfire. John Hawkins.
Whoa.
What the hell is that? What is he reaching for? Is that some sort of lotion? He's trying to blind him with some lotion.
No, wait a minute. That's lighter fluid.
That's a fireball. He's got the fireball. Oh my goodness. Jordan Kage gets smacked with a fireball. Russell's got him. Here we go.
Oh, down goes Hawkins.
With the low bridge. Josh, there's step 1. The Oklahoma Stampede. Here comes step 2. Sigmund all the way upstairs. Heat-seeking missile. He nails it. Hooks the leg. 2, 3. Heatseekers win it.
Wow! What a match!
Josh, things appear to be a bit bleak for the U.S. Tag Team Champions, but after John Hawkins' 4th attempt at interference backfired with a fireball right to Jordan Kage, Russell and Sigmund were able to pick up the dude.
Yeah, I can smell the lighter fluid from here. Hey, you put your hand in the cookie jar one too many times, and it got turned around. Heatseekers able to hit their trademark double team move. Oh my gosh.
And we thought John Hawkins very well could be a difference maker in this matchup. It ended up going the other way. Almost brought the U.S. Tag Team titles home, but Sigmund and Russell will retain that gold. And we know they always look to Wrestlecade as a big weekend for them. They start things off on the right foot, and tomorrow at the Super